Truth was created about close to 4 years ago as a space for ordinary people to understand what was going on in relation to whistleblowing, human rights, and press freedom.
I established the first contact with WikiLeaks. So I was deeply impressed by what they were doing. They were able to obtain documents which no one was able to obtain. Why? And the explanation was cryptography. In the darkness of state secrecy, there were many who disagree with the extremely brutal techniques and tactics used during the war on terror, torture, brutal torture, extrajudicial killing. In the darkness of secrecy, there were many, both on the left and on the right, because even if you are a right-wing person, doesn't mean you are a torturer or you stand by torture, of course.
Assange excelled at journalism like no one before him because he devised a new model of forcing governments to become more transparent and public servants more honest, which is precisely why the elite who wield secret power want him and that model destroyed. If the liberal media was really organised from the bottom up rather than the top down, journalists would be incensed and terrified by states torturing one of their own. They'd be genuinely afraid that they might be targeted next.
The ruling that you can be extradited under an extradition treaty, but that Article 2.4 of that extradition treaty that forbids political extradition does not have effect because the treaty does not have effect in English law, but still you're being extradited under it, was a piece of judicial gymnastics that was almost impossible to understand. We are at a stage where something needs to change. We need a massive uprising in public opinion because we have a controlled media, we have a controlled judiciary, we have increasing restrictions on freedom of speech where it's almost impossible to find any platform, not even a meeting hall, in which you can voice opposition to the war in Ukraine, for example. We are living in a society which has crept further and further towards fascism and is continuing to do so. And it gets worse year after year after year to the point when we really are almost there.
A year ago, we gathered in a church like this with a jazz concert in combination with good voices like John Shipton and Christian from WikiLeaks. And after that, the smearing of Julian has stopped in Norway. The leading broadcasters are actually speaking nicely of him, which is a shock to me, but it's great. It's possible to turn the tide.
When you become aware of a crime being committed, you are supposed to tell everybody. And Julian Assange did what any normal publisher should do, tell everybody. But we use the term whistleblower, which is a minority term and a slanted term. The only thing abnormal about any of this is the horrendous intimidation that stops people performing a normal, absolutely normal public duty.
Around the room you will see art from Guantanamo and the various prints. These were drawn by the people who were kept prisoner without trial or charge.
And here we have a prisoner that's been shackled and got his head covered. So for this picture here brings truth for me, really, because we actually saw these pictures exposed in newspapers during the Iraq War. So yeah, this is a perfect example of actually what took place out there.
The Gavin McFadden Award is aimed at improving free press, a really truly independent media that stands up for truth and informs us what's going on. And the idea of the award in memory of Gavin is to take a stand and try to say this is the way journalists should report, this is the way it should be done, and to try to make it the norm.
I'm very proud to present this award, Gavin McFadden Award 2022, special category, the journalist whose work most exemplifies the importance of a free press, Julian Assange. Sadly, Julian cannot be here to receive it, but we had a wonderful event in Strasbourg this week where we had a very long session of speeches and music and presentations about Julian Assange, and the high point of the evening was when Julian came on the phone to the meeting. He didn't say anything, he was just on the phone, and so he heard our applause. And so as I present this to Craig, very grateful to you, Craig, for receiving it on his behalf. Can we just have a thunderous round of applause so Julian can hear it, even behind those stony walls of Belmarsh. Craig.
Thank you.
He's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow. And so say all of us.
Every time you pick up a newspaper, every time you switch on the TV, you can bet your boots that at some point you'll see a high-ranking copper or Tory MP calling on all who are British and free to stand up and defend law and order. It's illegal to rip off a payroll, it's illegal to hold up a train, but it's legal to rip off $1 million or $2 that comes from the labour that other folk do. To plunder the many on behalf of the few is a thing that is perfect